Hello and welcome to another episode of TSG Small Talk with us outside. So I'm Sarah, this is Colin's Matt, and we are here to look at hypothermia management out in the extremities. Would you like to talk us through that, Colin?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Just we want to bring out a couple of really simple points to think about should you have to insulate somebody and manage hypothermia in an environment such as today where it's cold and it's wet and it's certainly not the classroom environment. So a lot of the systems we see that are taught are putting people in things like burrito wraps, but one of the first things we have to think about when we do that is that that system depends on a large piece of material being placed under the patient. And one of the first considerations we have to think about when we're doing that is how would you actually get the patient onto that piece of material if they're seriously injured, if they've got a fractured pelvis, a long bone fracture, how much movement can we afford to get them into that sector? It's actually not as easy as you think, so that's something we have to consider. The other thing we have to consider is how we manage the piece of equipment itself. If there's a strong wind up, we could get snowdrift, we get sand, we could lose control of it. We've got bits of wood here holding ours down. But very simply, because it's a large area of material we're trying to get underneath someone and then wrapped around them, if we have to take time to do that, in the environment that we have today, this material will get wet very quickly. So having this exposed to the elements for any period of time will then actually reduce its ability to be on any level of insulation for the patient. And it's something we really have to consider. So what does that mean from a TSG point of view? When we designed the heat saver, we wanted to get away from putting large amounts of material underneath someone. We wanted to reduce that sort of footprint to the environment. So on the next TSG talk, we'll talk about how we can cross that. But what we have to think about if you're using this system on days like this beautiful Yorkshire day is how do you get somebody on it with minimum movement, reducing secondary injury chances. How do you manage that piece of equipment in adverse weather, both controlling things like wind? How do you actually make sure that if you put it to someone that is actually it's in a premium condition and it's dry? Obviously in days like today it becomes very difficult. So from this edition of TSG Talk, before we get very wet, thank you again, Sarah.
It's hailing as well.
Welcome to springtime in Yorkshire.
Wonderful. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.